All right, welcome back, Josh Peter and Alex Goldman, and here for From the Stands. And today we are once again joined alongside the man who set the MMA world ablaze this past weekend, dispatching of Ikram Aliskerov in mere minutes in the main event of UFC Saudi Arabia. The great Rob Whittaker. Rob, firstly, congratulations, mate, from both Alex and I on a wonderful performance. Thank you so much for joining us as well. First thing I want to know from you, mate. How are you feeling, and how good does it feel to be back with your wife, your kids, and your family after such a dominant and an emphatic victory?
Mate, thanks for having me, firstly. And honestly, it's a little unreal. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm,
It's a little like it's hard to say whether it's sunk in or not, but it really is surreal coming home this quickly. Like I just went straight
mm,
home, and I feel great. Like I feel
mm.
because it was the fashion that I won. Like I feel like I should be preparing for something. I feel like I should be going to training because I went to the gym last
Yeah.
night just to see everybody because they're a big part of what I do down at Gracie Smeet and Grange.
Hmm.
And yeah, to be back with the family, to feel the way I do, yeah, it's honestly surreal.
I can imagine, man. And watching you celebrate after that knockout of Ikram, watching on my phone, and I could almost feel the passion and the elation through the screen. And I
Mm.
think the most amount of damage you took all fight was from you hitting your own chest. Because I was wondering after the fight, why is his chest so red? I didn't see him get any. And then I realized it was from you, pumping your chest because it looked like it meant that much. And what I wanted to know, man, is how much did this win mean to you to do it like that, like you did it after what you've gone through? And this time last year, you're coming off a loss against DDP. Now you're two in a row with a dominant knockout over Ikram Aliskerov.
Yeah, I guess you could see the emotions.
Mm,
It's hard to explain really how much a win in that fashion means to a fighter because we I put in months and months of work, and obviously since that DDP fight I've been working relentlessly on my mindset and just really trying to live up to my own potential,
mm,
fill my own shoes, so to speak. And it's been a journey. It's been a lot of hard work, and to finish in that way, with all the minutes and hours and months that I put on the mat with the team, because it's not only my success, it's the team's success. It's all the work that they put in. It's all the work that I've done, and the drilling and the sharpening of the skill sets. It just justifies everything. It adds, it gives everything that green tick. It
mm.
validates all the work we put in, and it's not only myself, I guess. Like obviously the feelings and that I was displaying was driven a lot from how I felt, but also because of how much I knew it meant to my team, how much it meant to us.
Definitely. And
What's up, guys? It's Josh here From the Stands. And look, I know you're in the middle of a good little interview that we're currently doing, but I want to take a second of your time just to give a quick little shout out to today's sponsor, TrainAid. Obviously, they're big supporters of us, like we are of them. And today they're sponsoring this video. And look, I want to let you guys know about a little product they do, their premium product, TrainAid Hydration. It's the best hydration formula on the market, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. And look, if you don't believe me, ask guys like Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski, Leon Edwards. You ever heard of these guys? I mean, they're the top athletes in the world. And they're all taking TrainAid Hydration. It really is the #1 formula in the world for hydration. And in the summer months here in Australia, I mean, it's something that I think everyone should be taking. And TrainAid have been very nice to give us a discount code, a very healthy discount code as well. I mean, it's a nice little discount code. If you use the code FTS15 at the checkout, they will give you 15% off. We'll leave a link to their website in this description of this video. And yeah, check them out, guys. Please support them because they are supporting us. Cheers.
kind of talking on that dedication of yourself and your team, the news obviously broke in the last 24 hours that, you had a pretty serious mouth abscess that you had to get surgery on kind of, a week before the fight. And I guess I'm curious, how much of an effect did that have on you even post surgery? And were there any, ever considerations or concern that maybe you might have to postpone or pull out of that fight?
Oh, nah, not really. Like, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. That's why, like, I didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, thank Titus for that.
yeah, Ty's a big mouth. Where is he? But yeah, it hurt. I've never really had like jaw pain or tooth pain like that. and it hurt. It took about 3 or 4 days to get over, and it was it just hurt. There was no fear of pulling out or anything like that, because it was either, once everything went up, I went straight to the dentist, and I was just like, make it go away, get rid of it. So there was worries that like I was going to be healing up until the fight, because if we have to rip out a tooth, obviously, everything happened. But I got a root canal. I got 2 root canals that day before I flew out, and then the antibiotics they hit me with took effect probably about 4 days after it. So by the time I was a couple of days after I landed in Dubai, I was right as rain. Get back at it.
Yeah. Rob, about a week and a half ago, we had Dricus on for a chat, and he said some very nice things about you. He actually said that when you were walking out against him, he was actually cheering for you. He said that's how much of a fan favorite you are. But he also said that this was before Khamzat fell out, and he sort of said that if you were to beat Khamzat, that he thinks a good fight to make would be you and Strickland for the #1 contender spot. And I think a lot of people, I mean, the whole world at the moment, the MMA world is talking about you, and after the win, and you and Strickland, is it a title shot? What's next? But those sort of seem to be the 2 prominent options. And I guess, you now have the ability to claim a title shot after 2-0 since the loss to DDP, a dominant finish. Sean wants the title shot now as well, and he has some claim to it. You would imagine, and he sort of said that it's a title shot or nothing for him. He doesn't want anything but the title shot. Well, after all this talk, and now that you've had a few days to digest the win and sort of look ahead, what does Rob Whittaker want next? What are you looking at as something that you would like next as a focus?
Mate, realistically, so my goals in this game, in my career, is to obviously all roads lead to the belt. Okay, I've mentioned a lot of the times that I don't obsess about the belt, because the belt's just a shiny buckle. Yeah. It's about the progression. Okay, the progression. I'm happy to move to rank 2 because I'm rank 3. I'm happy to move to rank 1. I just love that progression. That's why I play the type of games that I play. It's addictive, and that's honestly, that's what makes me enjoy it so much. Like, I loved it when I was beginning my middleweight run, because you fight 12 and then you go to 11 and you fight 8 and you go to 7, and it's just fun. I know it's hard to I'm sure a lot of people get it, but it's cool that way. And so that hasn't changed for me. I do know that the hard truth in the UFC is that winning opens doors. So win fights. That's also fortunately enough how I make a living. So I that's how I earn the bread for my family. So, mate, honestly, I'm going to just take some time to chill. I took the last fight pretty quickly after Costa. So it's honestly felt like one really long camp. So I'm going to take the family away a little bit and just cruise. Nice. But, I look to smash whoever they put in front of me afterwards.
Nice. Absolutely. And, obviously having the sort of opponent change in short notice, I think that kind of shows that you really embody that sort of anyone, anywhere mentality, that, used to be so prevalent in martial arts. And, I'm just kind of curious, do you think that sort of fight anyone, anywhere, regardless of their popularity, regardless of how many, pay-per-views they can sell, do you think that's been lost a little bit in modern day MMA? And, we're seeing fighters maybe cherry pick certain fights, turn down certain fights. Do you think that's kind of been lost a bit?
Definitely. It's more like weakness has crept in, because I do think if you're cherry picking fights and you're not fighting a certain dude because he has no rank, what does that mean? Like what, intellectually it doesn't make sense. No, it means you're scared to lose because you have nothing to gain. Yeah. Like, that's what it means. And if you are letting your fear control how you act before you even get in there, there's going to be a moment. There's got to be a moment of hardship when you're in a fight and your back's against the wall, and you're going to go quit. You're going to go you're going to give up on yourself because that weakness has crept in. And I do believe how you do anything is how you do everything. So, I don't know. We're fighters. We're in this sport, combat arts, right? This is how we earn bread. This is how we make a living. This is, if you look at my Instagram portfolio, it says fighter, right? Like,
Yeah,
how am I going to sleep at night knowing I said no to a fight because I was worried I would lose with nothing to gain?
yeah.
Like I can't do that to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, when we were at the Star for UFC 300, and I spoke to you, you said that you were really excited to fight in front of new fans in a new arena, new country, and experience that. What was the experience like fighting in Saudi Arabia? When I was speaking to Titus, he said it was very hot. But were there any major differences that you noticed throughout the week or on fight night?
I got booed pretty heavily. That was different. Yeah, honestly, it was great. It's one of the perks of fighting the UFC to be with a global corporation like the UFC. Means I get to fight globally. So to be able to go to Saudi, to be able to historically be the first guy to headline an event there is amazing. I'm very privileged to be able to do that, to meet my fans on that side of the world that I wouldn't have the opportunity to do so otherwise. Was a great feel because I got booed, but there were heaps of guys that were going for me there. So even still, so yeah, it really was amazing.
That's awesome.
And just kind of touching on that night, it turns out you actually had two dominant victories, one over Ikram and then one over a certain reporter who decided to ask you what would have happened if the Khamzat fight had happened that night instead of you. And probably then my favorite handling of a reporter I've seen in a while of, man, if I had wheels, I'd be a bike. What if I had scrambled eggs instead of waffles?
That's Aussie humor.
That's great.
Dude, it did not translate well over there, man.
I could tell. Like, yeah, I could imagine.
No one laughed. No one except my old man in the corner. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm sure there's some people back home that are
I
going to
watched it and
chuckle
saw
at it.
it. Yeah.
That was such a wild question, but
yeah. And I mean, I'm kind of then curious, is it at all frustrating? Because, obviously, it's a bit of a gotcha question. And, it's kind of like even now in MMA, fighters are still getting these sort of questions from reporters. They're either gotcha questions or they're questions that, don't really make sense. What if you'd fought this person instead of this person? Is that kind of still frustrating for you, or does it kind of roll off your back at this point with the media?
No, it's fun. I love the stupid questions because you ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer.
Stupid answer.
Yeah, man. So it gives me an avenue to take the piss out of them a bit.
Yeah.
And, I love it, dude. I love it. I really do. I do feel bad though because there are some fighters that haven't been doing it for as long as I have, and they'll stumble there and they'll flail and it'll look bad for them. They'll say something they don't mean to say because the question has just curveballed the hell out of them. There are good reporters, there are bad reporters.
That's 100% right. We always hope to be good ones, but I will touch on Khamzat just quickly, Rob. He tweeted after the fight, and you were very respectful all week of what happened to him and why he pulled out of the fight. And now though that being a Khamzat fight, has had a lot of trouble coming to fruition. Is that a fight? He sort of said, "Oh, we'll see you soon." Those sorts of things. Is that a fight that you would be happy to reschedule, or is it a bit of a risk now agreeing to a fight, knowing that Khamzat may potentially pull out? I mean, he's no shortage of it at this point. So is that? What are your thoughts on where we stand with Khamzat?
Well, I will say, like, so see you soon. It's like, where? You can't get into any country.
Country.
Where you going to see me, bro?
Middle East. The Middle East, and that's it.
Yeah, when I'm in the area, right?
Yeah.
It's that's tricky to start with. But, mate, I'm a middleweight. I don't pick my fights. If that's a fight the UFC wants and still are interested in making, and they want me to headline another card out that way. That's what I do. That's why I do this, right? Our paths are short across. We're both top 10 middleweights. That's kind of the game. But right now, I'm not really. I don't have anyone in my crosshairs. Like I said, I don't pick fights. I don't look to pick fights. I just wait till they give me a name, and then I set my sights, and that's kind of how the hunt begins.
Mm. What I want to know, Rob, is something that's sort of been consistent throughout your career is that you've always been hungry. Like, when watching your interviews, when watching your fights, I've never sort of gotten that vibe that, oh, there's, a dip in motivation here. He's not really hungry for it here. And I guess my curiosity is, how do you maintain that hunger throughout your careers? I can imagine, once you've reached the mountaintop of champion, for a lot of fighters, it can be really hard to stay motivated, to stay hungry. So I'm curious for you, how do you sort of maintain that hunger?
There's been dips. There has been dips, but usually I take care of them before I reach the octagon. Yeah, otherwise I probably wouldn't want to step in there, right? You need that hunger, because how are you going to beat someone that is willing to die there if you're not? He's just so he'll just pay more. That's just the hard truth of the game, especially in a game where one punch can change a fight. There's been dips, but it's something that I've had to adapt to on the way, and I think I learned it during my career, and I was fortunate. Like I'm so blessed to be surrounded by the people that I am, because without these guys to help me reevaluate myself and bounce ideas off and stuff, I wouldn't have been able to successfully keep going the way I have been. So there's definitely been dips, especially after winning the belt, after losing the belt, after winning a fight and then losing a fight, and there's been dips. But a big thing is that I've had to acknowledge that I'm not the same fighter I was when I started this game. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have any tenure or work history or experience or achievements that I have now. So because I'm not that person, I can't do the things that I did when I was 21 today. That's not how it works. So I kind of have to adapt on the flow. And, that happens by looking at myself, like really being introspective and just working with myself, and again, that's why it's so important to surround myself with good people, because I bounce the ideas off them. They understand that when we come into a camp, like maybe we push something out, maybe we try something different. It's important to change to who I am today.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Rob, I had one more quick one for you, Rob, before we let you go. Teammate of yours, Lachlan Stitt, won the Eternal welterweight title over the weekend. So you guys both had a very successful weekend. I'm sure. I don't know if you had a chance to watch his fight at all, but did you have a message for Lockie after winning the Eternal welterweight title? Obviously, it was a big victory, and it's nearly. When we spoke to him last week, I said to him, it's nearly like that golden ticket to get that Eternal belt. More times than not, will precede you to the bigger league. So I guess, did you have a message for him after that win?
Yeah, just congratulations, mate. I'll see you on the mats. And that's the equalizer, right? Hard work. And to see him working hard and to get the belt. That, you said it yourself, that's the golden ticket. That's how you get into the UFC. That's how you make a career out of what you're doing. You train, you work hard, and you keep trying. You keep fighting. You fight for it. And mate, I'll see him on the mats, and we can work on the next one.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Well, Rob, from both Josh and myself, again, a huge congratulations on that victory. And we thank you so much for joining us today, man. It's, we're really excited to hear as well that you're going to be taking some time with the family. We hope that goes absolutely amazingly. And we'd love to talk to you again later in the year, man.
Too easy. Sounds good, mate.
Thank you, Rob.
Take it easy.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Rob.